Hey, hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, rules can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the reading, so I do look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play as karmic themes to help you understand why your person's doing what they're doing, why you're attracting this person into your life. The majority of relationships that happen are karmic. I mean, all the relationships that we have are karmic, but the ones that we associate with negative karma, unfortunately, there's more of those type of relationships, is what I'm trying to get at. And the reason why is because our relationships represent who we are. So they could be aspects of who we are, things that we need to heal, also things that, we accelerate in life at. So again, just areas in our life, like we can see why we attract the person into our life. And that is the key to actually trans transforming it, right? To integrate the spiritual lesson, first and foremost, it's to create awareness. That's the first step. The second part is the actual transmutation process. So without the awareness of why we attract who we attract and why we want to know why a person's doing what they're doing is because a lot of times it has absolutely nothing to do with us. And seeing it from a different perception allows us to incorporate different habits and behaviorisms on how to deal with that person. So the reading isn't just supposed to trigger you and because after a while these readings can obviously trigger you when you're like connected to somebody and you've been connected to someone. They just every turn that they make, it's always the wrong turn. After a while we want to know how to disconnect from that energy. I mean, that's really the most important. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck ruminating. And so, like I said, seeing the situation from a different perception allows us to quantum jump into a reality that's more in alignment with who we are today, not the wounds of our past. Now, anything of any relevance or importance to the channel, you can find in the description box, including the word of the video. You'll need that if you want to enter into a free reading with me. And don't worry, most of the times, a lot of times I'm doing readings you guys don't even know, okay? Because a lot of times people want their readings free. Not free. What am I talking about? They want their readings private. They do want their readings free, but they want their readings private. So if you want to send me your questions, like the day before or like an hour before, you can do that. Usually you don't need to because I'm just going to channel anyway. All right. Whatever you need to know always comes out in the channel. By the way, social goats now. Vidme is the platform that I will be offering my coaching on. $35 a month, group coaching done with the oracle cards. Very interactive. You learn inner child healing, shadow healing, reparenting. You get all the healing modalities to help you heal the effects of trauma. And it's really fun. We have games and giveaways and educational videos, much like the ones that I have been posting, only they're just going to be a lot better because it'll be interactive, and that's what makes it fun with the group coaching because you learn from each other. And like I said, it's just fun to do it with oracle cards. It's hard to stay consistent doing shadow work. It's depressing and healing doesn't feel good. A lot of times it requires to do something that we've avoided to do. That's why, again, we need healing. So, again, having a support system, which, by the way, a lot of times when you go through traumatic experiences, what you'll notice is no one was there. There was no support. So it's really important when you're doing shadow healing to get that support. $35 a month. And you know what? If you work the program correctly, you have the opportunity to make a lot of money on this. Where you see $35 a month is the investment that you pay to the actual platform, but My thing, I'm pretty much doing it, but when anyone signs up, I get like $7 out of that. So it's not like a ton of money, but when I want to teach hundreds of people, it's a lot of money because I can give them my referral. And you can give your referral to people and make money. You say, hey, I like this person's content. Why don't you come over to the platform, check it out? Hey, you made $7. Hey, if someone wanted to take a class on Mind Valley, it would be $100. Not to mention, this is like you don't just get my stuff. You don't you get my transforming trauma podcast and you get my group coaching, but you get hundreds and thousands of other content creators. Think of Valley that birthed YouTube, that birthed Netflix. It's a monster of a platform. We were actually supposed to launch in the beginning of the month, but it's they're still like making it better and better and better. And it's a monster, but it gives you an opportunity to do what you love, which is learn if you love this kind of stuff and make money. How can you lose? So again, if you're interested, the link is in the description box along with the word of the video. All right. I like to push the group coaching more than my regular one-on-one coaching because it's funner. Like it's like people learn, they build, you build community. That's what it's about. It creates connection, something that I feel like is lacking. All right, let's see what the word of the video is. The word of the the word of the video is virtue. I feel like that's someone that's like who you are, you know? Though you would think like Virgo is virtuous, but I feel like you are virtuous. And the reason why is because I don't know, I always think virtuous is somebody that holds a very high vibration, but is courageous, goes against the grain, doesn't give a shit what anyone thinks. And I like that because it shows that you have moxie. And in a world today, most people don't have moxie. So I feel like you have the potential to trigger a lot of people because you're not afraid to live your truth and understand the universe always rewards people that live their truth. Sorrow and sadness. If that's not the most opposite energy, and that's, you know what? I'm feeling like you're in connection with someone that is very sad because they misjudged you 110%. And the irony is like, I feel like this person actually dated people that you knew, and they thought that those people were going to really be like, wow, this person. And what they see is that that person doesn't have a good character. Like there's somebody, like I said, that is either an acquaintance of yours or someone that you know that this person thought was going to be the cat's meow. I keep hearing that's such an old phrase. But, you know, that they were going to be like, oh, wow, head over heels for this person. And they wound up being able to hook up with that person and not being head over heels from them. And so they are in a place of sorrow and sadness because number one, they're afraid that it might have gotten back to you. Number two, because they're paranoid. Number three, they didn't give you the time or the time that they gave you, it was divided between other people. And this person just like never could make up their mind is this energy. So it's someone that's been in your life for a while. And I feel like the longer you are in this person's life, the more and more and more and more and more that they actually really fall in love with you because they're really seeing who you are. Intimacy issues, but we'll get into that after I pull a few cards. Let's just look and see what this person feels right now. before looking into like what they did, how they did, why they did, because who cares? Like, let's look and see why is this person so sad? Because again, they feel like you have the power to like activate them. And I know that that sounds ridiculous, but it's like it's it's like because you're so virtuous and you're coming from a very high vibration and you're beautiful, this person thinks that you're beautiful and you're kind. Your energy is kind. Like you have, like, you check off every single one of these person's boxes. This person kind of puts you on a pedestal. It's like, and you might say, that's not me. They didn't treat me like that. No, I don't feel that they did. And that's why they're sorry. It's like, they know that the universe works in mysterious ways, but sometimes they judge the situation instead of surrender to it. They were like, why? They're like, why? Like they again, they're judging the universe. They say, and they know that the universe works in mysterious ways, but they judge it because it's like, why didn't you show me who this person was to begin with? Like almost like blaming the universe instead of themselves, when really you were like right underneath their nose the whole time. But because you were so nice, like this person actually thought nice was weak. This person thought because you were so like giving and kind and loving, like that they didn't see that it was a divine connection, that you were a gift. They didn't see that. Whatever you just cleared helped me to shift to. So like this person feels like as time goes by, like maybe are not as angry as your life seems to get better. Like this person actually like is looking at your life like it's getting better and better and better, and you're gonna leave me behind. You're gonna leave me behind. I don't feel deserving, and it's affecting my levels of abundance. And that's really what it was the whole time. It was never about you. It was about this person, like never, like they would have had to, you would have had to, I should say, like talk dirty to them, send pictures of yourself. Like it would have been real surface, and that's not who you are. And this person knew it, but it was boring energy at the time. And that's why I'm saying this person, I feel like hooked up with somebody else, thought that that person was going to be the better choice. And then what happened is that they see that person's not a good choice at all. And they're terrified that you know. They're terrified that you know. They're almost positive that you know. And you do know. I feel like you do know. And that's why this person is sorry and they feel like they're not deserving of you because you were right there the whole time and they didn't give you anything. And they know that you're pissed off. Because you don't talk to them anymore. So they got your message loud and clear. But it's almost like this person doesn't know how to fix it. They don't know how to fix it. Well, I mean, people do it to themselves. Yeah, they wanted you to be submissive. Like you weren't allowed to share your opinion. They wanted you to go along with the crowd. That's what this person, when you were seeing them, like almost like they overlooked you. And I want to say that because it's like almost like not having an opinion, like pulling you in with a bunch of other people, but you were more on the boring side. So they were like, I'm not going to give it time because what I'm not going to get anything from that. I'm not going to get my rocks off. That person's not going to, you're not going to make me feel like blow my ego up. You're not going to, I need that. That's where this person was when you met them. They were in a very low vibration. And it's because they again feel like that like it's the persona is a rebel without a cause. Like they really don't feel like they fit in anywhere. They really feel like they don't emotionally connect. And the irony is that this person the whole time emotionally connected to you. They refuse to tap into their emotions. They refused to tap into their intuition. They would only tap into the logical, analytical mind, but this person's wounded. So, it's like if a person's wounded, and they're not awake to why they're wounded, they're going to create the same thing because their habits and their behaviorisms are in alignment with that. So this person feels like there's something wrong with them because they can see what they manifest in relationships isn't good. But the reason why is because they're letting the ego run the show. And when you let the ego run the show, well, you're only going to attract someone that's the same. And they're going to be shallow. They're going to say, oh, well, I like what your money looks like. I like the house that you live in. I like the car that you drive. I like the things that you have and how you make me look instead of, wow, like I enjoy your company. Like I enjoy you. You're one my favorite person, like because I enjoy you. I want you. I don't need you. I want you. Where usually if we're seeing things from outside and having people say, well, I like you because of the car that you drive and the things that you have, then what happens is that those things don't stay fulfilling with inside of us. We again begin to look for things outside of ourselves again because because they're empty. It's like, oh, I wanted that handbag. You go out and you buy the handbag. You love the handbag for a week, and then by like 3 months later, you throw that handbag off to the side and you're looking at a new one. I mean, that's human nature. And if it's not a handbag, it might be a golf club. It doesn't matter what it is. And people do it in all different price ranges with all different things. But the whole point is when we do things to heal ourselves, we feel fulfilled. We feel loved. And here it was, if they would have tapped into that before the connection, they would have felt fulfilled. Instead, they were afraid of it. They were like, no, I need to be in control. Their ego got the best of them. And that's, again, because they feel inadequate. They feel like there's something wrong with them. And you say, well, there is. Look at what they do. And people that have wounds, you're going to see a lot of psychological reversals. Just the person gets in their own way. They self-sabotage. It's like, they're just going to get in their own way. It's like that person that gets a job and they're a klutz and they make every single mistake in the book. Every single, and the more mistakes they make, the more nervous that they get. And it's like, and so what it is that they wind up feeling so bad about themselves. This is where addiction a lot of times comes from because the person says, I can't fix my life. It feels bad to walk around feeling bad, feeling bad, feeling bad. No, that's not our God-given energy. Our God-given energy is love. And this person feels inadequate. They're out of alignment. So what they do, they withdraw. So it was all about them. You're in a relationship or a non-relationship, a connection with a person that doesn't like who they are, that feels like there's something wrong with them. You're just a manifestation of that. It's like this person sees who you are now, I mean, but now it's going to be difficult, more difficult. Let's see. Let's just see where the hell this goes. I'm not ready. Yeah, this person doesn't feel like they're on your level, you know, and they know that it was like a one-sided relationship. And they know now that would definitely be a one-sided relationship because they're seeing who you are and they're seeing who they are. Now, see if a person feels inadequate, in their relationships is because they feel inadequate with themselves. They haven't created themselves enough. Again, shallow, like it's sending dirty pictures and dirty, that doesn't last long. First of all, here for a good time, not a long time. And it's, what do you have at the end of the day? You don't even have relationships, people that like you because they see you was shallow, you use me. Now, hey, they might have been sticking around to use them. They just didn't get the chance, but nevertheless, it's like you didn't manifest anything from it, is what I'm getting. And so now they come into you, you would actually have to take care of them. You would actually have to like bring them, or if not take care of them financially, it would be bring them into your friends, where it should never only be your friends. This person should have friends. They should have some sort of life of their own, hobbies, interests. What are they going to talk to you about? You're virtuous. That means you're interactive in your life. That means you're someone that pours into your life. That's not what this person does. They filled themselves from the outside. Again, and that's because they felt like something was off. So let's see how you feel about this person. Um, Destiny is taking us down different paths, is what you feel. You don't feel like that there. And you also feel like, and this person says, and there was someone interfering in our relationship where, like, there wasn't one person, it was this person's choice because the whole time they overlooked you. Now, this person might have been married while they were doing that, and they're going to blame the person that they were married to. Well, I mean, this person, like I said, no, but like they would be bad news. But how they feel about you, you're the person of their dreams, but they're intimidated by you. And that's why I'm saying to you, like this person has feelings, but that virtuous energy is the highest vibration. This person looks at you and they're like, I'm not worthy of you. I'm not good enough for you. I don't have what it takes to be with you. You awaken this person because they're like, look what they've been doing with their time. Not to mention, now they're like, well, it's going to come out like that, what I've been doing this time, and so they were not virtuous, and they were with somebody that also was not virtuous, so they can see the difference, and this person is like mortified because now, like now it's not even like what it's not a, it's the fact that like that's who they are, that they, run around and they hook up and they, send dirty pictures and they, act like this, like that this is like their character. And that the person that, is an acquaintance or a friend, or this person somehow, it's just like, they put that person on like wow, they couldn't believe that they got them, and then when they got them they saw who that person was, and they're like, so they ruined this connection because of that on top of it. So this person didn't just overlook you because of the many other people, but it was that one person that I think, so they might tell you that that person tried to interfere, but it was this person. They had choice. That's why they feel sorry. So we look and see, why did you attract this person into your life? You're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. And we see the first card out is imagination. We always look at the inner child wound cards because when we go through an experience that's traumatic in childhood, it creates an emotional vibration, like an energetic imprint on the subconscious mind, which until it's healed, it means integrated, see how you contributed to the imbalance, you can't heal it. You have to transmute it. You have to integrate it, and then you have to transmute it, which just means embody a new consciousness. So the clues here of why you attracted a person that could have been your person, but they never stepped it up. So they're a false twin flame or a false, their past life karmic mate, whichever one you want to call it. I always call those past life karmic mates false twin flames because in every lifetime they have an opportunity to step it up. This person didn't do that. They didn't want to do the healing. It's like now they're sad because they're like, oh, it's like almost like when you were going to bet on a horse and you didn't bet on that horse and then that horse came in first place. Oh, like that's like what this person feels, and that's what they're supposed to feel, Spirit says. Feel the karma. Feel the karma. So again, trauma pushes us into our imagination because children can't run away when they're getting yelled at or screamed at. So if you were just terrified of your parent or you felt inadequate just because you just felt inadequate, I mean, some people are sensitive and they overthink and they overfeel and they just feel like there's something wrong even when there's nothing wrong. So again, that pushes us to be like try to like escape and escape our body. It feels uncomfortable to be in the body. So where do we go? We go into the imagination. When a child's getting screamed at or yelled at or they're terrified because of a parent, what do? They go into their mind. Why? Because they can't run away and they're dependent on that person. So that's actually a gift. Now, it could also create problems where you're not as grounded as you should be, where you would again live more from your emotions. So you might have been someone that always lived more from you, like what you felt. But this time you really had to be grounded and be like, this is exactly who you are. And and I feel like you did do that. That's the whole thing. This person's in regret because you did do that and they can't come and fix it. Abuse. So you grew up with either psychological abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse. The body doesn't know the difference. The brain doesn't know the difference. Even if you imagined it, your brain wouldn't know the difference. It just thinks, it's abuse. Need to go into survival mode and escape that. You need to protect because the mind's job is just about survival. It doesn't care about anything else. Survival overruns everything. So again, psychological is the same as physical, is the same as emotional. Especially, it's like can't talk, especially to the child self. Especially to the child self. Anchor, there was no anchor. So you might have had an alcoholic father, you might have had like one parent, you might have had parents, but they were not they were absentee, they were caught up in their own drama. Many different reasons why they could have worked all the time. They could have been so self-sacrificing. They could have been great people and always volunteered at the church, but never were home. Like, doesn't matter. There was no ground. What we see here is support. You have an anchor, that's what it is, support. There wasn't any. There was abuse. So as a child, what did you do? You daydreamed. What could you do? You couldn't go anywhere. You had to go into your mind. And so again, you didn't listen to rules. Why? Because you didn't learn any rules. You weren't present. You were in your mind all the time. You were in the imagination all the time because of the abuse. So, people saw you as rebellious because you are a true speaker. The divine is who you listen to. It's again that God inside, the higher self. And the higher self is in that astral realm, which is very close to the imagination. So people see you as rebellious. Well, because it's again, virtuous can be moxie. That's how we started this, where, that triggers people that aren't on a high vibration, so they see it as off, and so you're used to going up against that energy where you trigger people. You don't know why, you don't have to do anything, it just happens. So, but you don't care. And that's the beauty where most people do care. You weren't allowed to play. When we're children, it says in the Bible for a reason, be like childlike. Children go out and play. That's what they do. That's how they find what they like, who they like, what they like to do. How do we get to do that? By going out and playing, by investing in ourselves, by pouring in ourselves, right? That's what it's about. It's about showing up for ourselves. So spirit setting, this is manifestation energy right here. Because when we play as an adult, we're creative and we have moxie. We don't care. And there is the fire energy from being abused. And kind of, again, being a little naive from not being as grounded, meaning I believe I can do it, and the universe says you can. But if you were to ask other people, they'd say you were being naive when you're just in the flow of the universe. That's all that you are, is in the flow of the universe, making those universal laws work for you. And that's by aligning yourself with the things that you love, becoming what you love, always evolving, always growing. And that's really what it's about. Now I got to find these cards. This irritates me. It's always this one deck of cards. This one deck of cards. It's all the time. It's every reading. I don't know if you noticed that. It's like I've noticed every reading, this one deck of cards loves to hide from me. I'm starting to get really irritated, especially when you could get up at 5 in the morning. It's like, the heck? And then a lot of times it's right in front of your face. I want to find this one deck of cards because the words on it, here it is. See, it's too many cards, just too many, just too many. This is one deck. Look at this deck. Not this card, but this entire deck is a monster deck. Okay, let's see what the end. It was important that I found this deck. Feature habit, feature habit. But we always want to know how you're going to transmute the negative energy, and that was to do do, what you did, which is embody the new energy, is to really go into uncharted waters. Is what is that? Wanted to see something. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Like, okay, let's see. Soul's calling. So again, going into uncharted waters, but like you're listening to your higher self. You're listening to your soul. You're aligning your actions with your values, which is what it's really all about. It's about, you know, coming from that higher self. The higher self is the God part of self. And listening to the intuition and doing what you love so that you can connect to people through that common interest, but then also you're able to see yourself different. See, that's what it really is when you're doing shadow healing. The whole point is to embody a new consciousness. When we keep reliving the same karmic cycles, that's what makes us feel as if there's something wrong. So what heals that is when we're on our path, our true soul's path, because when the student is ready, the teacher appears. God makes a way where there is no way, just for you. So you wouldn't be able to heal like horrific abuse that happened to you in childhood by just saying affirmations. It wouldn't happen. You wouldn't, I mean, it would take you years and years and years of therapy. And I'm not saying not to go to therapy. I mean, you should. You should always understand why things are happening to you when you're not liking your life. There are tools for that. I mean, and that's why would you continue to live a life that you didn't like instead of not get help? So, I mean, but one sure way that you can heal is to be on your path, to do what you love, to do what you love, become who you want to be in the world. It's like, and acknowledge what you have already overcome. Like, don't just say, oh, I didn't create anything, and I didn't create anything because of my abuse, because of the way that I grew up. I mean, that's in this story. You attracted this person that's so wounded, that's so broken, because again, you were abused. It's the same energy, fear. And so spirit says we have to start by, you have to acknowledge, like, look at like what you've gone through. Look how strong you are. You have to come from a place of gratitude. So you have to look at your situation through different perception by reframing. And that's done by first and foremost saying, well, like, look what I've overcome. Look at the person who I am today, not the person who I was yesterday, not what I did yesterday. Well, people are going to want to keep you there. They're not going to like this new version of you because this version is powerful. This version like allows you to create the life and the life experiences that you want to have. So people can't use your energy for what they want to utilize it for. They can emotionally manipulate you, make you feel bad, gaslight you. I mean, understand. And healing a lot of times is that, just doing that. Be fearless heart. Have courage to act from a place of love instead of fear. And that always starts with doing what you need to for yourself. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen. It won't happen for you. It's not to be mean. What it is it's just, people, everyone's in, like, tends to be in survival mode. Brighter horizons are on the future, and it will. It always is when you step into the energy that you're supposed to be in. It only gets better. You only evolve into higher states of consciousness, because it's a faith walk. Like I said, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. You don't know how you're going to manifest what you're going to manifest, what you're going to create, how you're going to create it. It's all in divine time. And it's about having faith. And it's about being true. And it's nerve-wracking when you don't believe in yourself. It makes the journey so much more difficult. So we have to recondition the mind, Spirit says, to get to a place of unconditional love. But it's all about taking that bold action. Take a big leap of faith out of your comfort zone, because risks are rewarding. And it's about seeing yourself as courageous, as making things happen in your life, as that the universe has your back. And it's like you said, that's how your reading started. That's why this person is so upset, because they see that that's who you are. And that's the life that they actually want to have. So they admire it, they want it, but they're not ready. They have to do healing. And you this person, like it said, you just passed the test. You didn't really, it was to acknowledge your energy. Because I feel like because this person overlooked you and they didn't give you, like emotionally, it was taxing for you. And the whole point was you didn't beg for this person's energy, you poured it into yourself. And that's profound for this person anyway. They're not used to that. Like a double whammy. Like you don't want to be with them, number one, and that's horrible. And then number two, you're going to live this great life, and you taught them, so it's huge. The calm spirit just says, breathe, live, and grow the light within yourself. Do one thing at a time and focus on the present moment. Cast off your doubts and all fear dissipates and find the peace in your being. And we can do that by reconditioning the mind. I want to pull one more, and that's affirmation. Listen to yourself and acknowledge your needs, and assert yourself and retain your power. Know that you're brave and gentle, don't have to be afraid of others, and respect yourself as you should respect others. So again, just live in alignment with the laws of the universe, which are the laws of God, which are the laws of love, because they're all the same thing. So just be in alignment with love, and you can easily do that because by taking a bold leaps of faith now in any direction, because you can change your direction at any time, but know you are going to meet people along the way and be in situations that are going to teach you and grow you, excite you, the way you experience life, really. And that's something that if you were abused, you didn't really get to do. You lived in survival mode. So Spirit says, this is the time. That's not relationship time. It's healing time for you, but a more exciting time because you get to go and experience different things now, not just in a box, being virtuous. You get to go out into the world. All right, I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated with this one, and I'll talk to you soon.